At the age of 18, I made a ridiculous amount of money with a mobile game that I created. I created the mobile game fairly quickly, and I never realized how popular it would have gotten. It was a very small game. Most people would have never heard of it, but I made probably $1 million over its lifespan, and then I sold it for a quarter of a million. So it wasn't like massively popular. It wasn't like the number one app in the world, but it was quite popular. And anyway, um, throughout that entire time, I was a bit like a lot of people on YouTube. I was watching motivational videos, listening to very wealthy people give advice. Um, I was consuming so much information to try and become as wealthy as possible, to build an empire, to build generational wealth, to leave a legacy behind, to become one of the greatest, entrepreneurs or whatever in our lifetime or whatever it was. I wanted all of it, right? I was one of those people, and it almost worked, or at least it's not that it almost worked because it would have never worked because I always wanted more, right? I was constantly living for the future. When I earned £5,000 a month or $5,000, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter what currency really. I just wanted more. I was aiming for 10, and then I got 10 very quickly, and then I wanted 20,000 a month, and then I got it, right? Not because I thought about it, but because I worked towards it and more users were using my app. A lot of it was actually out of my control, right? I just made something that a lot of people liked, and I didn't even try to do it. It just happened. And then I earned 30,000 a month. And this happened all very quickly. And the difference between 5,000 and 30,000 a month was like, for my happiness and my emotion, it just made me very arrogant and very prideful because a lot of people told me, Ewan, if you leave school without qualifications, you're going to be a failure. And then I made a YouTube channel, which was quite successful. I sold it for like £5,000 when I was 16, and then when I was 18, I went on to make mobile games. Everyone told me, you need to stay in school and do this, and then all I did was make more and more businesses, um, and they were very successful. So I became very arrogant, but I was very unhappy, because the only reason why I was earning money was for the sake of earning money, right? That's all I was doing. I didn't have a specific goal in mind. I just wanted to be like one of the greatest. I don't know what that meant. Maybe one of the richest people, as rich as possible. Just as, to go as far as I could. And you might think that's a bit delusional, and it was, which is why I was so unhappy, because when you're not living in the present, like I am now, right? You're not really paying attention to what's going on. I was constantly living in the future, constantly worried that my wealth is slipping away, because even when you earn a lot of money, you generally buy more expensive things. And even if you don't, you still have bills to pay. You still have, maybe a slightly better car, so you have higher car payments going out. You travel more, so you have to pay for high prices for plane tickets and train tickets. And even though I was earning a lot of money, I still worried about these things. In fact, a lot of the time, I wouldn't buy like a $5 coffee or a £5 coffee. I would buy the cheap one because I was so obsessed with getting more wealth that every penny counted. Whereas now, it's like I'm more relaxed. Like, I can't obsess over wealth like that because tomorrow isn't guaranteed. What's the difference at the end of the day between £100,000 and, or £1 million and £2 million? What's the difference really? I still have food, water, and shelter, right? I had enough money to have food, water, shelter for the next 40 years at one point. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you do with money at that point? It's like, no, I didn't need a supercar. I didn't need a big house to be happy. I was convincing myself that I did. I didn't. I really didn't. I have my 2 kids here. We're about to roast some marshmallows in the garden. My partner is just setting it up, so I'm going to stop this video in a minute and live in the present, because that's what matters, right? I'm not trying to sell you an ebook. I'm not trying to sell you a course. Look at my channel. There's no way I can make money from any of this stuff. My videos aren't monetized. They will never be monetized. I'm just letting you know. Stop listening to all these people. Stop listening to them. You don't have to be rich to be happy. You don't. I'm not saying you shouldn't be rich. Listen to what I'm saying. You don't have to be. Stop convincing yourself. Stop letting other people convince you that you need to be rich in order to have social status or happiness or fulfillment. You don't. And that goes for muscle, that goes for riches, that goes for women. You don't need it.